Hi, welcome back. Bella here. In today's video, I want to talk about how we can practice our listening. As we all know, listening is an important part when we want to improve our speaking skills. There is one practice we often hear people talk about, which is intensive listening. So today, I want to talk in detail how we can carry out this particular practice. First of all, we have to be very careful with the kind of material we decide to study. Usually, I would recommend starting with some kind of material that you can understand 70 to 80% of, and try to select a video or audio file that's between 1 minute to 3 minutes. We don't want to start with something that's way too challenging because it could be really frustrating and it might discourage you from doing this practice at the very beginning. So if you have decided to choose a 1 minute long audio or video clip, you should at least prepare 30 to 40 minutes. Set it aside for this particular practice. Because in order to study any kind of material, we have to go over it over and over again until we have made the best of the material. Now, I want you to mentally prepare yourself, because we will listen to this clip for at least 25 to 30 times, depending on how long it is. And bear in mind that every time when we listen to it, we should always have a slightly different goal in mind. That way, it will force us to very intentionally focus on the material and not get distracted easily, especially after we have listened to it so many times. So here is how I usually do this kind of practice. For the first time when you listen to the video, I want you to focus on trying to understand the gist of it. Trying to understand what is being mainly talked about in this video. Try not to write down anything, because once you start to write down things, you will miss a lot of details. So for the first couple of times, your focus would be simply figuring out what this video is about. And it would be more helpful if you try to summarize it afterwards with your own words. Try to explain to yourself, for example, what this video mainly talks about, or any other detail that you can remember from the video. By doing this, you will start to pay attention to what other details you're still missing, because without those details, it is a little bit challenging for you to summarize what you've heard. So that way, next time when you go back to the video and listen to it again, you will pay a lot closer attention to all the things that you have missed previously. For the next 10 times, that's when you should start noting down some details. So for this part, I want you to try to get down as many details as possible every time when you listen to it. And try to figure out how this video is divided into different parts and what each part is about. And every time when you listen to it, you're certainly going to notice some different details. So try to put together all the information you've collected every time when you listen to it, and pause when you feel like you've gotten enough information that you can almost repeat what has been talked about in the video. So I'm going to say this part is going to take you at least 10 to 15, even 20 times. After you have no problem understanding everything that's being discussed in the video, the next thing I want you to focus on are the expressions and different sentence structures that you really weren't aware of before. So instead of writing them down, I want you to take screenshots of the scene where the line is said for you to refer back to in the future. So every time in the future when you decide to go back to the phrases with structures that you came across in this video, simply refer back to the screenshots, because in the screenshot you will see the whole line where the structure was used in, and if it concerns a particular story, that scene will also work really well in reminding you of what happened, i.e. what kind of context that particular phrase was used in. So to get this part done, you might have to go back to the video over and over again so that you can catch all the expressions you feel like that will be really helpful in your own daily conversations. And finally, after you have listened to this video for about 25 to 30 times, Now it's time for us to turn off the captions and try to repeat after the speakers in the video. It's not really shadowing, but more so to double check to see if you're really familiarized with all the expressions and sentence structures used in the video. This is also a great way for you to get a general sense of how these expressions are said in a real life situation. So you'll get the overall vibe of the intonation and then the speed, or if there is anything particular about the way it was delivered, you'll probably remember it by repeating after the video. And last but not least, don't forget to go back to the video from time to time, because we're not computers. We won't remember the things we've only seen once. The more often we refresh our memories with the videos we've studied, the better we will remember them and the more likely we will end up using them in our conversations. So I hope this video is helpful for you in deciding how you can do your practice to improve your spoken English. Please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions.